G'day there guys, not actually funny and uses deadpan humor as a crutch here, back at it again with another episode of r/AmiTheA. Now if you love today's content like I love you, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a like on the video, a prawn on the Barbie, and get ready for some bloody good content. Posted by user ThrowRA titled, Am I the a-hole for threatening to call off our wedding because my fiancé is refusing to shave his beard for it? So, I've been with my fiancé for over 3 years. We've been engaged for one of those years, and our wedding is set for September 6th. My fiancé has been growing a beard ever since like March or so, same. I haven't thought anything of it since I've seen him with a beard plenty of times before. I'd say since I've known him, it's been about 50-50 between him clean-shaven and him having a beard. I jokingly brought up his beard and our wedding the other day. I said, "You ready to have a clean face for our wedding?" He looked at me and was silent for a few seconds, and he finally said, I was going to leave my beard for the wedding. I gave him a pretty gross look and said, "Ew, no you're not. That's not acceptable. I will not have that." He got mad that I was telling him what to do, and said that I can't tell him what to do with his grooming preferences. I said that I have the right to, since it's my wedding and I'm marrying him. We kept going back and forth about it until I said that I would cancel our wedding if he doesn't shave. He didn't budge. He ended up getting really mad by that comment and left shortly after. I don't blame him. He's barely texted me since that happened. I've told my friends and family about the situation, and part of them agree with me, while some said that I had no right to tell him to do that, and that I was being a jerk for doing so. Just to clarify, I don't hate this beard. It's fine. I think at times that it can be attractive, I just don't really like the idea of him not being clean-shaven on our wedding day. I feel as though the pictures will not be as classy and nice. So Reddit, am I the a-hole in this situation? If he hasn't touched the beards, it probably looks something like mine in my introduction of these videos, and it's glorious in my opinion. I say let a man get married with a big bushy fluffy beard. I love it, he should love it too. Don't know why OP doesn't love it. You said you're getting married to him on your wedding day. It's also his day. What if he wants you to have a beard, OP? Checkmate. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, I think she's the a-hole in this situation for trying to force something because she doesn't like it, and OP obviously wants to keep it. Communication has been going on, and she's still hounding him about it. She didn't have a problem with it before, because it was a 50-50 between clean-shaven and beard. Why is there such a problem now? That's my stance on it. OP is the a-hole. You guys may have different opinions. You're the a-hole. As a woman, you should understand the concepts, my body, my choice. The fact you're denying him the right to choose what he wants is messed up. It would be the same as him telling you what to do with your hair. If you are that petty, just let the poor man go so he can find someone else. And by the way, the wedding is about both bride and groom. I hate women like you who think the wedding is only about them. Sorry to break it to you, but it's not. But what about the pictures? You're the a-hole, OP. A wedding and marriage is more than pictures. That's what got me the most. She doesn't even think he looks bad with the beard. She's just worried about the pictures. If you're willing to call off a wedding over the pictures, then you're not ready to get married. It also comes across as sheer stubbornness. I don't mind the beard, but why won't he do what I command? I'm cancelling the wedding because it's meant to only be about me. Don't these people love their partners or respect their wishes? I honestly don't get all of these bridezillas. Life is more than a wedding, a relationship is more than a wedding. Also, it's not only her wedding, it's also her partner's wedding. OP really needs to respect his wishes. I honestly feel like most bridezillas don't know how relationships work, and I really wonder why they're getting married in the first place if they can't compromise or respect their partner's wishes. Yeah, they probably get married for the wedding because that's all important in life, right? Sarcasm. You're the a-hole. If that's enough to call it off, he shouldn't be marrying you anyway. You're the a-hole. Wedding culture is so toxic these days. It's not just your wedding, it's his too. Imagine if he asked you to lose 20 pounds or dye your hair before the big day. You wouldn't have it. It would be reasonable to say, honey, would you mind trimming the beard and making sure it's neat for the wedding? Instead, you decided to be a brat, and I'm not surprised your fiancé walked out. It's really not cool to give ultimatums about your relationship over petty stuff. It would make anybody feel undervalued and unloved. You need to apologize to him, chill about your wedding, and consider whether you want a perfect party or a marriage. Posted by user ThrowSoy, titled, Am I the a-hole for returning my daughter's birthday present to the store? My husband, 28, and I, 43, had a small birthday celebration for my daughter, 15, in our backyard. She was able to eat and hang out with her two best friends. Everything goes fine until her stepdad walks out with a buddy of his to grab some chips and drink a bottle of beer. We have a very large deck, and they were sitting in lawn chairs on the other side of it, yet my daughter kicks up a fuss and asks why they were there. She asks her stepfather to leave, and he says that this happens to be his deck, not hers. I tell her that's no way to treat her stepfather. In response, she says that she's going over to her friend's house to finish the rest of her birthday cake. I was furious that she left, despite my protests that she apologized to her stepdad first. For her birthday, I had agreed to buy her a laptop because she had previously complained about having to share the large home computer with her stepfather, who likes it for his graphic design work and asks her not to keep clearing the history on it. But I only agreed to buy her this on the condition that she keeps the peace around the house, and the blow-up at the birthday party was the opposite of that. My husband was humiliated, and sometimes he sighs and says that he doesn't know if this will work out. I love him unconditionally. In addition, he was also being generous in allocating the deck where he could have said no. I ended up returning the laptop back to where I bought it, and when my daughter got home, she called me a sellout and refuses to eat dinner with either me or her stepfather. Am I the a-hole? I love him unconditionally. What the hell? You're the a-hole. Apparently your love of your daughter is conditional, and she has almost no rights in the house. Also, why the hell couldn't you make her a second account so her browsing history wouldn't clash with his? If your kid is so against their step-parent that they don't even want them at a birthday party, then you screwed up big time by marrying that person. Did you see that age gap? The husband is young enough to be the kid's older brother, as if it could be any worse, right? I just want to know why it's a teenage girl's job to keep the peace around the house. The house should be peaceful already. What's going on there that a teenager needs to be an arbitrator of disputes and/or walk on eggshells? OP makes a point of writing that she loves her husband unconditionally. Even when you try to read between the lines, there's nothing even close to that sort of sentiment for her daughter. It's obvious where her loyalties lie. This freaked me out too, especially as her literal fudging birthday present is dependent on her ability to push those feelings down deep. Now darling, don't forget, Mummy will only love you if you make sure creepy husband is always happy. Okay? If anybody's creepy, it's the mum because of the age difference. I think they're suggesting that stepdad and his friend were creeping on daughter and friends. Of fudging course there were. There is more to this story if it's true. You're the a-hole, and let's review the red flags and a-holery together. My husband was humiliated, and sometimes he sighs and says that he doesn't know if this will work out. Your husband tells you that he doesn't know if this is going to work out. This being your marriage. He literally questions your relationship, but here you are, putting him over your daughter. Guess who will always be your family? Her. The I love him unconditionally part. You love him so much that you put him over your daughter and ignore all the red flags. And him being generous by letting her use part of the deck on her own birthday? What the hell is this? Is it not your house too? Your daughter wants to hang with friends, and he intruded with his friends on her birthday. She then left to be with her friends, and your response is to get angry at her and return a gift. A gift she honestly needs for school, not just for fun. Congrats on alienating your daughter. Keep it up, and when your husband finally leaves you since he's not sure if this will work out, you will be completely alone since she won't want anything to do with you either. Look, a kind and generous stepfather would have decorated the deck for her birthday. And let's face it, he knew he would be disturbing her birthday if he went out there. That's why he did it. I think stepfather is a control freak who likes to make mum choose between him and his daughter. Every time mum chooses him, he feels more powerful because he wins. Opie, sorry to say that you're the a-hole, and this will get progressively worse on both sides. You have a duty to your daughter to protect her, and it seems your husband's duty is to antagonize her and you both. And he's good at his job. I'm sorry for both you and your daughter. Posted by user 55co, titled, Am I the a-hole for yelling at a wildlife sanctuary owner/fox owner for making the fox adoption process so difficult on me? Ah yes, because foxes are just the easiest things to adopt, I imagine. Since I was 16, I've known I've wanted a pet fox. I've read up on them, know they're a lot of work, and that many owners are responsible, and that they can be destructive. But I've known I want one anyways. Now I've graduated with my degree, paid off all my debts, live alone in a house, and I finally started looking into getting a pet fox. I contacted a large wildlife sanctuary here, one of the only licensed sellers of pet foxes in my state, who have taken in many pet foxes that previous owners surrendered to them and began the adoption process. That was more than 4 months ago, and the woman who runs it constantly made things difficult for me. In every phone call, she seemed skeptical of my intentions. First, I had to pay a large cash deposit to even begin the adoption process. Then I had to agree to have a background check and submit proof of income. Then I had to give a virtual home tour by some outsourced service to make sure the environment was suitable for a fox, whatever that means, and pay for the cost of the service. Terrible. I've had at least 3 separate phone interviews now, where I had to answer a bunch of questions about responsible ownership and get quizzed on how to care for a fox. I thought I was finally nearing the end of the process, when I then get told the next step is purchasing 2 bottles of fox urine. Apparently you can buy it online. I looked it up. Place them inside my house, open the lids on the bottles, and leave them to sit open for a week. Since apparently 63% of new red fox owners surrender the fox within 1 year, and the primary reason is a lack of willingness or ability to deal with fox odor. At this point, I went off on her and yelled that I've been going through this stupid process for months. She has a fox, I have the money. Why the hell can't I give you the money for the fox and call it a day, instead of playing all these stupid games? She just gruffly told me that she had every right to keep my deposit and withhold the fox if I chose to behave this way, until or unless I apologized and agreed to her process. Am I the a-hole? I feel like I've reasonably demonstrated that I'm willing and able to care for a fox without filling my home with fox pee. Yes, but OP, you do realize your home's going to be filled with fox pee when you get a fox. And pee smell doesn't come out easily. I own 2 chihuahuas, I know what it's like. People don't appreciate the smell of pee, you won't appreciate the smell of pee. She's given you more than enough warning. She's given you the statistic of 63% surrender it within 1 year. You are talking like a teenager that is invincible to the world. That can't hurt me. I'm bulletproof. This won't stop me. Yeah, but I'm gonna be different. OP, I think you just need to be slapped by reality for a bit. Buy the bottles of piss. That's the price you pay for getting a pissy fox. Sorry about it, that's just reality. You're the a-hole. Honestly, what she did is reasonable, and if you aren't willing to be patient with her, you're probably not going to be patient with the fox. You know she's the only licensed seller, yet you still yelled at her? A fox is not an item, it's a living being. My thoughts exactly. You're the a-hole, they go through these processes for a reason, and Opie is a prime example of why. There's also the fact that the foxes the seller has are all ones that had to be returned by their owners. It's no wonder she'd want to be as careful as possible and to make sure all the foxes go to people who know what they're doing. Right? Like, how many of those previous owners are like OP, who just knew they wanted a fox and read about it online a little, then got one? Especially since the sanctuary owner even said being unable to adjust to the smell is a big reason they get returned. Foxes are adorable, but their pee reeks, and even once they're litter trained, A, the smell is still everywhere, and B, they mostly get it in the box at best. If OP gets frustrated this easily, there is no way they'll cope with the challenges of a rescue fox. You're the a-hole. See, OP doesn't want a fox. They haven't wanted a fox since they were 16, in a sense that was any more realistic than an 8-year-old girl who wants a unicorn. OP doesn't want the fox. They want their idea of what a fox is, and their idea of how it will be to have a fox. This smacks of furry vibe in the sense that the person claims to be so into whatever animal, and actually has little to no idea what the reality of that animal is. You are in fact the a-hole. Have you ever actually smelled a fox? If not, she's doing you a favor. I had to step inside a small, unventilated room at a rehab facility once where they were temporarily keeping 3 foxes, and I found it hard to breathe at all without feeling sick. When you breathe through your mouth, the air tastes like fox musk. Ugh. Fox urine is so rancid that it's used on my college campus to deter tree theft around Christmas time. It's apparently sprayed on the branches of trees that the campus think are at risk of being illegally cut down for Christmas trees. It freezes on them and is undetectable outdoors, but if you cut one down and bring it indoors so it thaws, we're warned it's a living hell. I was told as a freshman that some frat boys tried their luck a couple years prior, thinking we're likely to pick an unsprayed tree, and worst case, how bad could it be? The next day, people were gagging on the sidewalk outside their frat house. The smell was so heinous. Jesus, it wafted onto the sidewalk outside of it? Ew, how bad is that? Posted by user Delancey and Essex. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend don't come to the restaurant if you only plan on eating a salad? Because you don't make friends with salad? Look, I get it. Salad is an easy go-to healthy meal that we use. But I think it's a cheap and scared to try new things move at a restaurant. The restaurant we're going to is American, so you know what kind of food there is. I'm trying to go to the restaurant with some people on Thursday. I tell her yesterday night. I give her time to look over the menu, prices, whatever. Then I ask if anything caught her mind. She says the ricotta dumplings caught her eye and sounded good, but she'll just go with the salad. When she said that, I made a psh noise, followed by a shaking my head and saying, ridiculous. Psh, ridiculous. When I asked if she was serious and she told me yeah, that's when I said to not even come to the restaurant and just stay home. She says, I'm trying to be healthy about what I eat. But I work out and try to eat healthy, but I'm able to eat good throughout the week so I'm able to have a meal at a restaurant. I told her to do the same. By the way, you can buy a salad at the grocery store for $5 instead of spending $16 on one. Waste of money. I would leave it up to her to buy her own meal. Alright, Graham Stephan, geez, this isn't Trader Joe's, buddy. What have we learned about My Body, My Choice in this episode? Oh my god. He doesn't get to dictate what she eats. He can make suggestions, sure, that's normal in a relationship, but completely saying, no, you can't make friends with this salad, it's too expensive. No, you can't come to the restaurant to make friends with this salad. I forbid you. Very controlling and manipulative, OP. I don't get why there's a shtick so far up your ass, buddy. You're the a-hole, calm down. You're the a-hole. Why do you care what she eats? Generally speaking, if you offer to buy dinner, you don't police what other people order. If you aren't buying, you still don't police what the other people order. This nice guy gatekeeping food. What a catch. You're the a-hole, OP. YTA. Okay, I wouldn't go to a restaurant just for a salad, but that's me. You shouldn't be shaming her for trying to be healthy, as she's just trying to keep her diet and still go to the dinner with your friends. I know salads aren't difficult to make, and a lot of restaurant salads can probably be made fairly easily at home. But there are still plenty of reasons to want to try a salad at a restaurant, in addition to the social aspect. They could have ingredients that are hard to find or otherwise inconvenient to use at home, like if it contains an ingredient that spoils quickly, or maybe you want to try something new without having to buy everything yourself. And sometimes people want to be able to just eat something without having to do any planning or preparation. You're the a-hole. Some people prefer salads, and restaurant salads are often way better than a grocery store bag. Also, restaurant salads aren't the healthy option. They're often not very healthy at all if you don't modify it to remove a bunch of dressings and toppings. Let the woman enjoy eating what she wants to eat. She doesn't have to eat what you want her to. That's childish and ridiculous. Posted by user throw number 45, titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling a mutual female friend that she's too dark for me anyways, after she said she wouldn't date me because of my height?" Oh, nice guy, tips his fedora. I'm 5'9" and the girl in question is 5'4". Let's call her Lydia. We were hanging out having Korean barbecue. It was me, my friend, his girlfriend, and the Lydia, who my friend's girlfriend brought along. Also, since people will ask, yes, we are all black. Lydia talks about a Tinder date she went on recently and how the guy spent his time on the phone, but she was willing to give it a second shot because their texting was amazing and that he was like 6'4". My friend's girlfriend is like, don't complain about guys that ignore you when you go for him. You should go for a guy like OP. Lydia then looks at me and is like, you're super sweet, but you're just too short for me, and says some other stuff, but really talks down to me. And I just respond, oh, I wasn't interested in you. You're just a bit too dark-skinned for me, at least for a long-term relationship. And I threw that last part in just to be petty. I know it was mean, but just say, hey, I don't see a connection with you. You don't gotta bring me down. My friend found it hilarious. His girlfriend and Lydia are super angry and use me as an example on why black men are trash. But I think it's fair game. If you're gonna judge me for what I can't control, don't be surprised if I judge you for things you can't control. I genuinely think, all's fair. Everyone's throwing crap around here. She said some crappy things, you said some crappy things. I think it equalized itself out. It's not right to say that to people, but it gets said regardless. So everyone sucks here in this situation. I don't get how nobody is saying everyone sucks here. She was crappy to you, you were crappy in response. You both could stand to grow up. Agreed. I cringed. Colorism isn't a reasonable response to anything. Obviously the girl shouldn't have made a heightist mark either. Everyone sucks here. She's shallow and needs to learn to look past height, and you need to learn that just because someone else is being immature and petty, it doesn't make what you said any less immature and petty. Also, saying she's too dark for you isn't just insulting her, it's straight up colorist and insulting to all dark-skinned people. Not cool, and an overreaction, racism and colorism are way worse than heightism or whatever. At 5'9", you're not short, and even if you were, you shouldn't be hitting out at other people's insecurities in an attempt to get even, especially when it's to do with something like color. There is a massive issue with men and women using skin lightening creams due to people believing that lighter skin is better. I'm not saying she wasn't an a-hole, but you are the a-hole, especially for the long-term relationship thing. Just like men are rejected for height, women are rejected based on skin color and weight. Don't do that. Be better. And you should not be using colorism as a way to retaliate. You escalated it by taking it there. Colorism and height are not on the same level. Wouldn't that fall under everyone sucks here if they both used hurtful stereotypes? Nah, colorism is at a whole different level than height. He dug deep for that insult. Ever heard of the paper bag test? Or, you're pretty for a black girl. Just Google the paper bag test real quick. Anything darker than that is undesirable and a whole bunch of other BS. He went nuclear for no reason. Wow, yeah, I actually didn't know the history behind colorism. Kinda brutal when put in context, to be honest. When considering even a cursory history, I would definitely agree with the you're the a-hole calls. OP could have said she had bad breath or something, but what he said kinda looks like a bridge too far. Whoa, what the? From 1900 until about 1950, paper bag parties are said to have taken place in neighborhoods of major American cities with a high concentration of African Americans. Many churches, fraternities, and nightclubs use the brown paper bag principle as a test for entrance. People at these organizations would take a brown paper bag and hold it against a person's skin. If a person was lighter than the bag, they were admitted. People whose skin was not lighter than a brown paper bag were denied entry. I'm feeling like it's shifting to you're the a-hole now. That's much worse than height, given the history of that. Jesus. Didn't put it in that perspective before. I was just thinking of it as an insult level. But yeah, the racism, colorism aspect of it is much worse than making fun of him for his height. Posted by user Can't Think of a Name 54835, titled, Am I the a-hole for taking in my niece when my brother didn't want to? Backstory. My brother, stupidly, got a girl pregnant when he was 17 and just abandoned the chance at parenthood. He tried to go through college but couldn't. If he finished, my parents would only help him get a place to stay and help for a month until he got a job. I think this is enough backstory, hopefully. The real story is the girl he got pregnant from high school lost custody of my niece, as she was an alcoholic and her parents couldn't afford to take care of her. So since my brother's name was on the birth certificate, they found him and he didn't want to take her in, my parents couldn't afford to take care of her, besides to use their retirement money, so I offered to take her in. I have a decent job, a fully paid off car, and a bit of property. I'm 34. My brother blew up at me at the second I said I'm willing to take her in, and I have absolutely no idea why he got so mad at the moment, but after he calmed down, I asked why he was so mad. He said that I was trying to steal his child from him and have her call me Dad. I wasn't. She's 9 years old and whoever she calls Dad is her choice, but I'll let her know that my brother is her biological father. My brother agreed, but my parents just blew up saying I had no right to do that to my brother. I now have full custody of my niece, and she knows that I'm her uncle and calls me by my real name. My parents are still mad at me and have turned everyone but my brother against me. So, am I the a-hole for doing this? Edit. Someone brought up I should add more details. Okay. 1. My niece's mum was a good parent, just depressed and turned to alcohol. 2. My brother is a better person near her. He is playful, happy, and loving. And 3. This all started about a month ago. Edit 2. My best guess on why my parents are mad is because she hurts their ego as good parents, because my brother was 17 when he impregnated her mum. The literacy in this post really broke my brain. I tried my best to make it legible for you guys and easy to follow, but Jesus. OP comes across as a saint, and I do understand that there's so much of a culture of people trying to save face. And it really sucks when you come across parents that try to cover up, people that get impregnated at 17, we're good people, our kids can do no wrong, just sweep all that bad history under the floor, that doesn't exist, we have a good image, right? OP, you did a good thing by taking in your niece and raising her. I don't understand why the father is still in her life and not paying child support to you, or providing any monetary support to the niece, but hey, not my situation, not my prerogative, I guess. I don't understand it. OP, you keep doing what you're doing good, not the a-hole. But I'm very seriously questioning your family. I don't understand what's going on there. Absolutely not the a-hole. Why the hell is your brother mad at you for trying to take care of the girl? From what I found out, he thought I was going to have her call me Dad, but she already knows that I'm not her dad. So what if you were? He isn't being her dad. Yeah, I realize that, but I wouldn't be that rude to him, and it makes me sad that he thought I would. Who cares? How rude is abandoning your child? I personally know someone who manned up and dealt with the struggle and strife. And OP says, good on them. And you're a good person. Don't let all this BS blind you from that fact. Thank you, and I won't, says OP. Not the a-hole. Child abandoners don't get to be angry with people who are willing to step up to the plate and care for the child they won't. Thanks, and I 100% agree. You're a good guy, my dude. You didn't have to take her in, but you did. Good on you. And tell your brother to kick rocks if he's not willing to step up. He didn't get to tell you crap. Thanks. And I will if he decides to not continue to get better. Yes, you're the only good person in this scenario, and your niece is totally innocent, of course. And I hope you and your niece have happy lives together and beyond. I like that your parents would rather prove themselves to be horrible grandparents than to project the image that they might have made some mistakes as parents. Really makes you think, doesn't it? Alright guys, that's where I'm going to end today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something that you didn't know before. If you haven't already, please do feel free to click that like button, as it really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already and you love today's video, please feel free to subscribe. I would love it a lot. Also, big shout out to all my Patreon members and channel subscribers. You guys are all up on the screen right now. I love you. I love your faces. Also, I love seeing you guys all chatting down below in the comments. It brightens my day to see the stories that you guys share and just the kind words you guys always have for my videos, as well as everyone else in the videos. I love you too. But honestly, your ongoing support means the world to me, and I just love it so much that you guys are able to support a career for myself that I invest so much time into. And you guys honestly motivate me to work harder each and every day to put more love into the videos for you guys. If you guys have watched this far in the video and you haven't already subscribed on Patreon or become a channel member, that's cool, you don't have to, but there are links down below. You can donate any amount of money, pledge that any month, cancel whenever. I'm completely cool with it. It's just there for you to support me if you'd like to go the extra mile. And I'll go the extra mile for you guys by putting out new amazing content every single day. With that said guys, I really hope you have a good day, night, sleep, bath, time at work, whatever you're up to today. This has been Markee. I'll see you in the next amazing video. Bye.